Welcome to our tutorial on ARIS Governance, Risk and Compliance Management, GRC, Part 2. In Part 1 of this tutorial, you learned how to add risks and controls to your business landscape and plan and prepare surveys and audits with ARIS Connect or ARIS Designer. By watching this tutorial, you'll learn how to establish internal controls for compliance requirements, assess and mitigate operational risks, and execute audits and surveys with ARIS Risk and Compliance Manager. GRC tasks are created automatically and the responsible parties are informed via email. Due tasks are displayed in role-specific task lists and performed in two-step workflows. Results are documented with log files and can be reported to external auditors. Managers can access the results via charts and heat maps in their evaluation area. Let's look at ARIS Risk and Compliance Manager to see the workflow. First, we log in as Tom Owen, who has various owner roles. The system jumps directly into the task list, which gives an overview of all of Tom's due tasks. First, we filter by test cases to test if the assigned control was effective. The test case form has all information needed to perform the test. In our example, we define the control as not effective, enter the mandatory description, and save our result. Then we go back to the task list and open the questionnaire Self-Assessment for GDPR. In the List tab, we see all the questions in a user-friendly way and can answer them easily by selecting from multiple choices or filling in free text fields. Answers can be reviewed by a survey reviewer and, if requested, evaluated by quality. Multiple choice answers can also be scored with different values for a more detailed qualitative evaluation. Our next example is a risk assessment. After we select and open the form in the task list, we enter our assessment values in the Impact Types tab. We can define individual impact types like environment, health, or image. As a starting point for our assessment, we copy the values from the last assessment and make adaptations as needed. When we're done, we can change the owner status to Assessed and save our result. In our last example for owner Tom Owen, we'll perform an audit step. After selecting an audit step in the task list, we open the form with all relevant information. After the audit step is successfully completed, we enter the actual processing time, change the status to Compliant, add our result, and attach any necessary documents as evidence. Let's look at the second stage in the workflow and access the system as Mike Ravilla, who has various reviewer roles. In Mike's task list, we see two items, the not effective test case and the assessed risk previously performed by Tom Owen. First, we open the test case with the result not effective. Mike, as the reviewer, now has to either accept the result or he can reject it and send it back to the owner for a new test. If Mike accepts the result, he has to define a measure. Now let's go back to the second task, which is the risk assessment. In this case, the risk reviewer has to accept or reject the result by the owner. If he accepts, the task is closed. If he rejects, the risk owner has to perform the assessment again. Finally, let's look at the evaluations as John Mansour, who has various manager roles. We jump directly into his evaluation area. To get an overview of the current risk status, we can select between quantitative and qualitative assessments or both. Let's open the Qualitative Risk Assessment per Regulation evaluation and click the heat map icon that shows the reduced values. The small circles with numbers stand for individual risks as described on the bottom of the graphic. By clicking them, we can access the respective assessment form. The ranking risks in the red area should be considered for further mitigating measures. Now you know how to establish internal controls for regulatory compliance, mitigate operational risks to reduce impacts, execute audits with less manual work, and evaluate survey results with ARIS GRC. Visit us to learn more.